So you're after a brand new SUV, but you're bored of German cars and you want something a little bit different. Well, I'm joined by the brand new DS7 Crossback, an SUV that's all about avant-garde. However, does that mean it's all about style and no substance? Well, let's find out. The DS7 is certainly a stylish car, although the front end does have a certain Audi Q5 look about it. Thankfully, the rear is able to boast more originality, and I really like the intricate design to the rear lights. The car also sits on massive alloys thanks to these optional 20-inch wheels, which do look good, but in my opinion they are simply begging to be curbed. The inside features geometric shapes and premium materials, and I think it looks absolutely superb. Yes, some may find the interior design a bit too fussy and a bit too try-hard, but on the whole the cabin is a very pleasant place to be. Yes, there are a few hard scratchy plastics here and there, but you will need to have a good look to find them. Overall though, I think the design has been well done. Space in the front of the DS7 Crossback is very good as well. As you would expect, I've got plenty of headroom, plus I've also got plenty of shoulder and elbow room. Now, getting a good driving position is rather easy. The steering wheel adjusts for rake and reach like so, and the seat has also got a good level of adjustment to it. But what about cubby holes? Well, you've got two cup holders in the middle. Got a cubby hole down here where you can put your smartphone, loose change and a packet of chewing gum, for example. In the door bins, I've been able to squeeze a 1 litre bottle of water with space left over. And you've got this cubby hole here, which is really large. It really goes down deep and it's chilled. So I've got my sausage roll in there, I've got my lunch, I'll save up for later. And that little compartment, or I say little, it's very large, offers plenty of space. The only downside is the glove box, which I'll be honest is rather small. I've got enough space for the car's spec sheet in here, and if truth be told, I'm not really sure what else you could fit in there. A packet of sweets, a pair of gloves of course, but yeah, that's not very good at all. But overall, space in the front of the DS7 Crossback is very good. Now, what is the back like? Well, let's find out. Space in the back of the DS7 is also very good. As always, the driver's seat has been altered for me. I'm 6'2", so I am, of course, a tall guy. But even so, I've got plenty of space back here. I've got loads of leg room. I can put my feet flat underneath the seat in front of me. Plus, I've got plenty of headroom as well. The only slight downside is because of the tinted rear windows and the dark roof lining, it does feel a little bit dark back here, but even so, I reckon you can get 3 adults in the back with little complaints. However, if you're more concerned about carrying young children in the back, there are of course ISOFIX points. Open up the tailgate and you'll find 555 litres at your disposal, which is more than the Audi Q3 and the BMW X1. But if you need more space, you can of course fold down the 60/40 rear seats to give you an impressive 1,752 litres. Lots of space indeed, very impressive. Although this tailgate is rather heavy. If only it was automatic. The DS7 Crossback is available in 4 trim levels: Elegance, Performance Line, Prestige and Ultra Prestige. The model on test here is for Performance Line, which would normally cost from £31,480, but because this one has got the more powerful engine, it starts from £34,990. But what does it offer? Well, you get LED lights, a large 12-inch touchscreen, smartphone connectivity, navigation, rear parking sensors, keyless start, front and rear electric windows, active scan suspension, dual zone climate control, cruise control, and an interior clad in leather and Alcantara. If that's a bit too pricey for you, then you can of course go for the base model, which starts from £28,095 and still offers a decent amount of features such as 18-inch alloys, 8-inch touchscreen, rear parking sensors, smartphone connectivity, dual zone climate control and keyless start. Above the performance line, you do of course have Prestige and Ultra Prestige, which have respective prices of £34,480 and £43,190. Prestige adds features such as wireless phone charging, leather seats, advanced safety pack and front parking sensors with reversing camera, whilst Ultra Prestige is able to offer features including Napa leather seats, uprated sound system, DS connected pilot, 20-inch alloys and a panoramic roof. The DS7 Crossback is actually the first brand new model to come from the brand since it broke up from Citroen. Well, I say brand new, this is built on the same platform as the award-winning Peugeot 3008, a car that I enjoyed very much last year. But despite this small technicality, this is the first brand new car to come from DS since the breakup from Citroen. So I suppose in that respect, it's got a lot of expectation. So there's a choice of 4 engines in the new DS7 Crossback, 2 petrol and 2 diesel. The engine I have is the brand new Puretech 225 engine. It's a 1.6 litre turbocharged petrol which offers 225 PS, hence the name, or if you want that in brake horsepower terms, that's 222 brake horsepower. It has 300 Newton meters of torque. It's mated to an 8-speed automatic, which I have to say is lovely and smooth. It really is a pleasant gearbox to work with. And you'll hit 62 miles per hour in 8.3 seconds and continue to a top speed of 141 miles per hour. So this car is pretty nippy. But what is the performance actually like? Well, it's strong. There's a good amount of pulling power. Put your foot down and there's a slight delay from the automatic gearbox, but it's only minor. It's nothing worth complaining about. And the 8-speed automatic is deliciously smooth, and it makes long motorway journeys so much easier, and you can overtake with ease, no fear of having to drop down because the performance is there. Another element that helps make the DS7 a competent cruiser is the active scan suspension. Using a camera located behind the rear view mirror, it's able to scan the road ahead for any bumps or potholes and is able to make any adjustments to the suspension for a better ride. I'll be honest, I thought it was a bit gimmicky, but it does work. This car glides, it really is nice. Although what I would say is I would stick with the standard 19-inch alloys and not the optional 20-inch alloys that I have on this car, because it will give a better ride and there'll be less tyre noise as well. Now, the tyre noise isn't deafening, so let me shut up for a few moments. It's noticeable, but it's not a racket in here. On the topic of noise, well, it's a high-riding SUV, so wind noise is to be expected, particularly when you're on the motorway, but you will never find yourself having to shout at your passengers or having to really crank the radio up. It's worth noting that the active scan suspension doesn't work once you put it into sport mode, which I suppose is rather obvious. Now, as well as sport mode, you've got normal mode, of course, and you've got eco, so they're all quite self-explanatory. Now, put it into sport mode, the car becomes more eager, you can hear the engine a bit more, and of course you get a bit more performance, and it is good, although it doesn't really suit the character of the car in my opinion. Plus the steering gets heavier in sports mode, and I do like heavy steering, but I must say in this car I'm not a big fan, purely because the weighting is simply too artificial. It simply doesn't feel right. Now, one of the things I love most about the DS7 Crossback is the sheer comfort that it's able to offer you. Now, as you would expect from a big SUV that's been designed more for comfort and refinement, it's not very good in the bends, as I shall now demonstrate. You've got body lean to contend with. The steering isn't particularly great. Yes, the grip is pretty good, thanks to these Goodyear Eagle F1 tyres, and the brakes are sharp as well. But this isn't a car that you will enjoy chucking into corners. But then again, it's not designed to be. However, if you're looking for a car that's got a nice level of dynamism to it, you will need to look elsewhere. He says, flopping about in his driver's seat. Ugh. Now, let's talk fuel economy. Now, I suppose it comes as little surprise that this engine isn't the most frugal out of a bunch. On a combined run, it's able to offer 47.9 miles to the gallon, and in my experience, I was getting around 37, 38. Although when I did put the car into eco mode, I was able to get 44 miles to the gallon, which isn't bad, but it's nothing amazing. However, if you are looking for more fuel economy, then check out the 1.5 litre turbocharged diesel, which offers 72.4 miles to the gallon, and it emits 101 grams per kilometre of CO2, as opposed to this car, which emits 134 grams per kilometre of CO2. For the first year of VED, you'll pay £145 if you go for the diesel, but if you want this engine, then you'll be paying £205. But what about benefit in kind? Well, for this engine, it's 26%, whereas if you go for that 1.5 litre turbocharged diesel, you'll get 25%. There's definitely a lot to like about the new DS7 Crossback. It's stylish, it's comfortable, it's got lots of space, it's got a good amount of kit, but is it really enough to tempt people away from German cars? Honestly, I don't think so. It's a bit too pricey, and brand awareness is still an issue as well. But if you are looking for an SUV and you do want something different that will stand out from the crowd, the DS7 Crossback could well be for you. Thank you so much for watching this video. I hope you've enjoyed it. If you did, give it a big thumbs up, and please subscribe for more car obsession, and don't forget to click that bell notification so you get notified every time I make a video. But until next time, see you soon guys.